You know what? Sometimes in life, people should just enjoy and appreciate an anime that's pure unadulterated fun and not be too ignorantly pretentious and critical when it comes to the anime, me included. And every now and then, there would be one such anime that on paper has quite a weird premise but is able to give you a silly, relaxing and heartwarming experience. Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid is one such title that, truthfully speaking, did initially make me quite skeptical about it. I mean really, a slice of life anime with the main character Miss Kobayashi and a cute dragon girl dressed up as a maid. Who would want to watch something like that, am I right?
Hi. Huh?
I have seen the face of God.
I have seen the face of God, and it is Kanna. Weeps and degenerates rise up. We must protect her at all costs. But in all seriousness, after the tragedy of the arson attack on Kyoto Animation around 2 years ago, it's definitely inspiring to see them making a comeback this summer, so I just wanted to firstly take a moment to really appreciate and respect them for getting through that tragic event and look to be stronger than ever. However, there is some misconception about how to treat this anime as a viewer, and I have seen some people trying to make a big deal out of it. And trust me, Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid isn't just some anime with cute characters that have huge knockers. It's also a very unique experience that mixes the peak of Japanese animation while having some well thought out ideas as well. First of all, the anime starts with Kobayashi, a young software programmer living the typical adult office worker life in Tokyo, but she suddenly receives a surprise visit from a dragon named Tooru. To be precise, a dragon who then transforms into a somewhat human girl in a maid outfit and proclaims that she wants to live with her and work for her as her personal maid. As it turns out, Kobayashi was the one that had unknowingly proposed the idea herself during a drunken escapade in the mountains, and now awkwardly finds herself with a maid. With that, we now follow Kobayashi's seemingly new hectic life with Tooru, and along the way we meet a variety of other dragons that also somehow become close to her and befriends her, making her a literal dragon whisperer, or more fittingly, Miss Kobayashi, the true mother of dragons and the breaker of chains. Wait, this reference might be a bit dated. Wait, let's see. Ah yes, I think this works too. So, as you can judge from this premise, the show is portrayed more or less like a modern day slice of life but with fantasy elements, and despite being a dragon, Tooru isn't all that violent, although she does possess a disdain for humans, and the only human that she cares a lot is Kobayashi herself. In fact, she has openly declared her affection for Kobayashi and repeatedly claims that she loves her, although Kobayashi mostly seems to see it as a child looking for parental affection rather than anything romantic for the most part. But that is what makes the show so entertaining, because of how it feels reminiscent of Kyoto Animation's other wacky moe comedies, and most of it really stems from the overblown characters and the stellar production value from the studio itself. We have Tooru, who is one big bundle of endless energy, which is a stark contrast to Kobayashi's deadpan, plain and cool-headed personality. Because Tooru comes from another world, she is largely unfamiliar with how human society works, and she also has virtually no experience with technology, cooking or any job skills. But she does adapt well, or at least she tries to, whenever she suggests some ludicrous things such as haphazardly slaughtering people. It's funny to see Kobayashi's reaction and how she reins Tooru back in to keep her in check. Their dynamic is honestly super fun to watch, but if the entire series just solely revolved around Kobayashi and Tooru though, it would likely become stale and repetitive quick, so luckily that isn't the case, as there are numerous colorful characters, most of who are dragons, that get introduced as the anime progresses. One of the first ones to be introduced was the young Duracell dragon Kanna kamui, and also considered to be another one of the main character of the show. And let's be real here, Kanna is the real star of this anime, and we all know the true reason the show has so many fans is because of the sheer amount of cuteness she emanates. Everything about her just screams moe, from her looks, her personality, the way she behaves, her seemingly naive and emotionless voice, all of it is just so extremely cute. As one of the youngest characters in the show, she behaves exactly like a child. In the beginning, she followed Tooru to the human world and had a disdain for Kobayashi and wanted Tooru to return with her to their world. However, as time progresses, she becomes more accepting of Kobayashi and learns to really appreciate her. But besides being super adorable, Kanna also helps to bring out the best side of Kobayashi, because as the story goes on, you can gradually see Kobayashi becoming more and more of a mother figure to Kanna with the way she treats her. Through acts such as taking time off work in order to attend the sports festival of Kanna's school, or trying to sneak in presents in her Christmas stocking just like how Santa would, it brings a genuinely heartwarming touch to what is otherwise a relatively non-serious anime, but it just somehow all blends together really well. As for the rest of the supporting cast, we have Kobayashi's fellow co-worker and otaku Takiya, Kanna's human friend Riko, as well as 3 other dragons like the reclusive and mysterious Fafnir, the hardworking and naive Elma, and also the easygoing and busty Lukoa, who helps to elevate the overall quality and interaction between characters. In essence, the primary success of the show is definitely the character chemistry and humor, as we see how character relationships establish the personalities and allow us to better understand them. It also makes the show so much more entertaining because we get to see how the human characters interact with the dragons, seeing how they change their perceptions and overall worldview after spending time together, like in the case of Fafnir and Kobayashi's co-worker Takiya. The both of them have a sort of otaku bromance going on that serves as a pretty nice contrast from the craziness going on whenever Tooru is around. And then we have Alma, who functions well as the one dragon who can actually interact with Kobayashi on somewhat normal terms due to her personality and occupation. However, we have Lukoa, whose only defining traits are that her boobs are large and that she likes to dress in scantily clad clothing, but she does occasionally provide some development for other characters, so at least she has that going for her. On the other hand, there's also the comedy of the show. It's freely defined and is able to sell the humor without going too overboard. Characters like Kobayashi, Riko, and Tooru are prime examples of this, as they display out of character moments at times. I mean, just look at when Kobayashi is drunk while berating Toru's maid outfit, and the running gag between Kanna and her human school friend Riko. But in retrospect, this isn't just a wholesome comedy, and there's a deeper act going on, especially regarding the concept of the juxtaposition from characters from another world into this world, and the critiques and moral concepts that arises from them are actually well done. I understand that certain times the show has its fair share of fan service moments with some suggestive camera angles and portrayal of characters which can get controversial at some cases, but if you look past the tits, lollies, and debatable relationships and focus more on the world building that has been presented throughout the series, we can really start to get to the topics the show is trying to convey. Topics like mutual respect, importance of honesty, living your own life, understanding one another, and being aware of your own actions are hidden behind the blurred lines of comedy that the show is conveying, even going so far as to attack the modern day exploitative workforce, references and understanding about our way of living and proper reflection of it through the usage of the dragons trying to understand human common sense just brings more depth to the show. The character relationships and how they mold our perspective and understanding the feelings of all the characters is perfect, and it's not done too obvious, which makes the whole experience way more gratifying if you are able to discern the things the anime is trying to portray. So again, we can perceive this anime as both a wholesome experience as well as an analysis of our own way of living. Existential dread aside, being an anime produced by KyoAni, it's undeniable that the production value would be top tier, especially when we look at the newest season of the show. They literally open with one of the craziest fight scenes I've seen in a while that will make any action battle anime shiver, and don't forget, this is a slice of life anime. Of course, there are more scenes that draw particular attention for the animation, but the cute and humorous expressions seen on the characters are definitely what makes the anime that much greater, especially when it comes to the dragon characters. They all look really detailed, with each of them having their own distinctive human look that fits their original dragon characteristics like the tail, horns and eyes, while never looking too overtly inhuman. The series even has a flair for decorative outfits as seen in certain episodes to make the characters look more fashionable and stand out. The only questionable tactic the show uses at times is the fan service, and again, Lukoa is probably the guiltiest of this, as she often wears skimpy outfits that are even pointed out by the characters themselves. Not much can be said about the music department, and just like the animation, the soundtracks don't fall far from that level either. The delivery of the soundtracks throughout the series is well crafted and quite fitting for the slice of life genre, as they give off a rather tranquil and artistic feel-good atmosphere to them. All in all, a slice of life story about a working woman living and befriending dragons might not sound that interesting on paper, but the more you watch it, the more entertaining it will become. And despite looking simplistic at first glance, the show has done well in trying to convey the hidden undertones to us, like the importance of respect, the concept of regret, and how it affects our way of thinking and living as well. Additionally, the way it gives the characters freedom to be what they want, and capitalizing on its very distinctive characters to quickly shift between being over the top crazy and relaxed relaxing yet heartwarming slice of life shenanigans, it's just a really enjoyable experience. Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid might not be the single best moe slice of life comedy ever made, but it's definitely at the top and should be worth checking out. That said, what are your thoughts on Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, and are you watching the newest one this season? Feel free to leave your thoughts down below. I personally think the newest season by KyoAni is so much better and you should really go check it out. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribing to the channel and hitting that notification bell for more anime content in the future. Check out these 2 other videos while you're at it, and as always, thanks for watching and stay safe everyone.